Welcome. This is a very special album review. This band is actually the one that made me decide to do album reviews. And I wanted it to be my first one, but hey, they came a little later after some other ones. But here we are, Alter Bridge, one of my favorite bands of all time. Let me rephrase that, my favorite band of all time. No other band has ever touched me in a way emotionally, spiritually, like this band. Like the way they write their lyrics is so poetic, so meaningful. But the key word is poetic. Like they will send you those messages, but then you can identify with it and make it your own. Unlike the Steel Panther one that I recently reviewed, that is too direct. That was a problem.
First, we are going to introduce the members of the band. Alter Bridge is composed of the remains of Creed, that includes Mark Tremonti on the lead guitars and backing vocals, except on certain songs where he sings the main vocals, Brian Marshall on the bass, Scott Phillips on the drums, and then Miles Kennedy joins in with his vocals and guitar work.
Amazing, amazing. All of these musicians together, they create such beautiful pieces, and I have not seen any other band that has so much chemistry with each other, both songwriting wise, live, and everything else. Like they were just made for each other musically. But let's go to the album, Walk the Sky. When The Last Hero came, and every single new album that is coming, us fans, especially the people in Facebook, there are Facebook fan groups. They're so critical. Every album that is coming, they're just criticizing so much Alter Bridge. But let me tell you something. Walk the Sky is no joke. Okay, the key is that they kept the core sound of Alter Bridge. You just understand it. If you just listen to the whole discography, you understand what the core Alter Bridge sound is. But every single album that comes, they explore different areas. This one in particular, they focus on the 80s sound. The production is so 80s to me. The drums, you hear the snare drum, they sound like poof, like oh, and I love that kind of drum, and that with the big reverb, that to me is signature old school 80s hair metal sound. But where they mostly go 80s would be with the use of keys and synthesizers. Mark Tremonti said that his way of songwriting for this album changed in that he would take some old synthwave tracks from the internet, he would put it in the background, and then he would write his riffs on top of them. And then I was checking on Wikipedia what genres do they put in the album, and two stood out: electronic rock and progressive metal. To me, Alter Bridge has always been about progression, but they never go too far, which to me personally I love it because I like a little bit of progression, like evolution, not like the same basic beats, the same basic structures. It gets boring, but I don't want too much that it affects the feeling. Like if it's too much, I will just not feel any emotions. It will not feel pleasurable to listen to. But Alter Bridge finds that middle ground. There aren't that many solos. Alter Bridge has always been known for its solos, especially Mark Tremonti, but throughout the years, Miles has also joined in the soloing, like the last song, The Dying Light. It has a solo by Miles, and in the end, a solo by Mark. But there aren't that many solos on this album. But it's not such a big negative to me, because to me, songwriting goes first. And to Mark Tremonti, it goes first too. And I remember there were some wise words by Vito Bratta, who also said that he hates it when a beautiful song is disturbed by a guitarist saying, "Hey, here I'm just gonna smash a solo," and they're gonna shred, and it just doesn't go with the song. I have to agree. So hey, if Alter Bridge did not think they needed any more solos, I agree with them, and I like every single song in the album. Bottom line, if you want to summarize the whole video, I love the album. It was great. Every single song was good, enjoyable, and thank you, Alter Bridge, for this album. It's amazing. Additionally, Alter Bridge has kind of like changed back. I was talking about the production. Many people have criticized their production, especially in The Last Hero, and I have to agree 100%. In The Last Hero, it was just too much. The album was long, number one. Alter Bridge always makes long records, but The Last Hero just felt exhausting because of the production. The guitars were too much in your ears. The drums were actually very buried, and I know that because people would talk smack about The Last Hero's production. I understand, I felt it too. But some people were talking smack about the production of the Walk the Sky album, and I was like, I did not feel anything bad about the production here. Yeah, every instrument has its own sonic space. The drums, like I mentioned before, they're present, they're in your face. Everything, the vocals, everything. Maybe, okay, if I had to criticize, just a hair less of compression. But no, that's just subjective. To me, it's almost perfect. Like I like it, and I know that because I put a song from The Last Hero. I don't remember which, and then I heard a little bit. I listened to it. Okay, I felt it. Then I listened to any random song from the Walk the Sky album, and there is a difference. They have improved and they have gone back to the good ways of mixing and producing the record. Elvis went too much on the last one. It was too much, and it kind of is a wasted album in that sense. Because if it wasn't that exhausting, I would have listened to it more. Like when it came, I enjoyed a few songs here and there, but then throughout the years, I'll be honest, I didn't listen to much of The Last Hero. The production in the other ones, Fortress, Blackbird, AB3, One Day Remains, is top notch, and now here with Walk the Sky, it's top notch again, in my opinion. So too bad for The Last Hero that the production is just whack. I'm sorry, it's not good. But also, there aren't that many ballads, true ballads, if you will. I mean, Godspeed is one of the kind of ballads. There was another song around the end, but I don't think that one also counts as a ballad. It's kind of like a Cree sound, like mainstream sound, but no, it's not a true ballad. And what do I mean by true ballad? I mean like Wonderful Life, Watch Over You. You know, those songs that you imagine, you just go with the acoustic and you just play the acoustic. And Miles usually plays those two songs that I mentioned by himself with the acoustic guitar. We don't have that many songs like that. Sure, you can transpose like Godspeed, because that is a ballad, just not a true ballad. But overall, I liked it. It's a very balanced album. Some songs stand out more than others, but what I love of Alter Bridge also is they bring, okay, they're growing, they have the core sound though, but every album you hear things from the ones past. And there's many songs that sound to me like they could go on AB3, or this one could have been on Fortress, or this one, like the one of the last ones, could go in a One Day Remains album. So I like that. I like that. And then you have also the newness of the songs that have the synthesizers and things like that. Like Godspeed is a beast of its own with the piano and things like that. But yeah, I mean, this album, beautiful. Now we're going to be going to song by song. Okay, so first song would be One Life. One Life is like an introductory track, so it's like very short. But to me, what stands out most of it is that many albums, they will have this short introduction, whatever. It's usually instrumental, like Disturbed, Immortalized had like an introductory track and it was instrumental. One Life stands out in that it has vocals. Beautiful, beautiful. To me, it reminded me a little bit of the Mayfield 4. It had some chord progressions that kind of felt like it had soul, you know, from that genre of music. Wouldn't You Rather, that's just a straight ahead Alter Bridge rocker. You know, like you usually have your ties that bind from Blackbird, or Isolation from AB3. This is that track, Wouldn't You Rather. Not much to say about it. It's just a tried and true formula that just works out. In the Deep, this one is another single, and this one, yeah, In the Deep makes, and then listening to the verse, it sounds kind of like underwater, uh, and it has a very 80s sound in the verse. The chorus is actually not that mainstream, if you will. It's not that catchy, but it has like a drive that moves you, and it just sounds very unique. I enjoyed it, and the drums, the snare drum, really, the reverb, you feel it a lot on this song. Then you would have Godspeed. I already talked about it. It has the piano. It has. It sounds very ballady. It's very enjoyable. Could have been on a rock radio, on a pop rock radio like Sirius XM and things like that. Very easy to listen to. Okay, so Native Son is a song that is more on the heavier side, and I enjoy something particularly from the chorus, the way Miles sings the line, living in a world, like the way he says living, it just sounds so cool. I don't know, the way he pronounces it, it sounds so cool. But Native Son has great lyrics, and it's kind of a scary track, okay? So it's kind of like touching on AB3 territory. Take the Crown is a weird combination. It has a verse that sounds very heavy and dark, like kind of like something that would be in Fortress, but then the chorus is very kind of mainstream, kind of poppy almost. Reminded me of the song of the B-side song from the Fortress album called Never Say Die, or the alternative name Outright. Indoctrination. That's, you can hear the name. It's kind of another dark song, but the chorus is again bright, and the verse is somber, is dark. The Bitter End. The Bitter End is one of my favorite songs in the whole album. It's just, it gives me the AB3 feels. It has positive vibes. It makes you feel like you can do anything, that you can fly, and like you're a badass. But it has this message of everything will be alright in the end, and that, to me, this song and that what I just said summarizes Alter Bridge. It's like in AB3 or in this album itself, they go into the darkness, but in the end, their message is, you will be okay. Okay, Pay No Mind is another single. The chorus is the best part. It's just one of the best ones, and it's groovy, and there's like the hi-hats and things like that. The hi-hat makes it feel like, makes you want to move. The Forever Falling song, people love it. People love when Tremonti sings, and yeah, his vocals are incredible. We have heard it in the Tremonti albums, and I'm liking it. Every single album I would like to have Tremonti sing his own song. So it's very progressive, and like the drums in the verse especially sound like the drums from Cry of Achilles, which is one of the most progressive songs in all of Alter Bridge music. Clear Horizon. I haven't heard too many people mention it, but to me it is another one of my favorites. The chorus is just so good, like probably the best chorus in the whole album. It's just badass. There's like the staccato with the guitar and the kick. Like there's like 3 kicks or something, like like super fast kicks, and they go so well with the guitars. And it has a cool intro too. It has like 3 verses instead of the normal 2. So a pretty fun song. Walking on the Sky is one of the deepest tracks in the whole album. Like just listen to the lyrics. It is one of those songs that I meant in the beginning, that it makes you think, it makes you wonder, think about life, existence, and taking risks, and did I waste my life, did I not? This is that song, and it makes sense. I mean, Walk the Sky, this song summarizes the whole meaning of the album. Tear Us Apart is the Creedy song. It has the Creedy feels, and it kind of reminds me of Take You With Me from the newest Tremonti album, so it's kind of poppy, but I enjoy it. It's a fun track, and it could be also in the pop rock radios. Dying Light is another one of my favorites, and it's the one that I showed in the introduction of this album review. Just listen to the melodies. This one also would have belonged in AB3. These kind of songs are why Alter Bridge is my favorite band of all time. No other band can make you feel like this one, at least me. And I watched the music video recently, and it made those emotions even more powerful, especially in the end when somebody's dying there in the hospital, and there's these things of life, these signs of life, then in the end is one line, basically, our hero has died. um, you know it's just beautiful, and I enjoyed this album. You can tell this is music, this is art to me. And Miles, Jeff Buckley actually mentioned that to him, music and lyrics and the vocals especially should express a feeling, should express something, should mean something. And to me, that's the best kind of music. I enjoy the fun music, the ones that are like party, let's rock, girls and all that. Sure, they're fun, but when I get to it, this is my favorite kind of music, the ones that make you think, like, what is life? Where are we going? Is life real? Like, what is after death? Things like that. This band, if you care about that, if you care about those things, this band will aid you in finding an answer. So yeah, the main meaning that I found from this album is death, and they have talked about it in the past, but never as direct and at the same time as subtle as they have this time. You just listen to the lyrics of songs like Dying Light, A Clear Horizon. It talks about taking risks, and I'm in a point in my life that I want to take risks. I want to go out there and make my life count. And that's why I love this band. It's like when I was super depressed, AB3 was there for me. Now that I'm like in the warrior spirit, like I'm trying to make things happen, many of these lyrics talk about that, like living a life that is worth it. I totally enjoyed this album, and I could just go on and ramble about this, but I just want to get to the point. I enjoyed it. I'll give this album a 9/10, only because I do wish we would have had like a long masterpiece kind of a song like Blackbird or Fortress, which were like 7 minutes long, things like that. But aside from that, I enjoyed it, I loved it, and I love Alter Bridge. Is my favorite band of all time. I'll keep saying it, so you get the point, okay? So let's rock.